Hello and welcome to At the Redline Podcast. My name is Alec Gonzalez. I'm a life coach and spiritual director. I love to work with salespeople. I have with me a salesperson extraordinaire, Ariel King with Debella.
Hello.
Yes.
Nice. Thank you so much for having me, Alec. I'm very grateful to be here. Thank
Oh,
you.
yeah. I'm excited. I always like to sort of start in the beginning. Where are you from? What was childhood like? Where were you born? How many siblings? What was your family dynamic back when you were little?
Yeah, so I grew up actually in Seattle, Washington, and moved around a bunch. And actually, most of my childhood was in Everett, Washington.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
I'm a Ballard kid, so I don't
nice.
know all about
Yeah,
Everett. Nice.
yeah. So basically the West Coast
Hmm.
mainly, and then
Cool.
came out to Moses Lake, and then ended up in Spokane.
Nice. So siblings, you got a big family?
Yeah, so I have some stepbrothers and sisters,
Uh-huh.
but I basically grew up as an only child.
Uh-huh.
We did have a pretty big family with a lot of cousins and aunties and stuff like
Oh,
that. So,
nice. Nice. All right. Um, I love to talk about faith and God and try to understand someone's sort of arc of faith, how they we've talked about your faith several
mhm.
times, and I wonder if you could sort of describe your journey to faith.
Yeah, so that's a really good question. So I grew up very religious. And went to church a lot as a child. But one thing that I noticed growing up was whenever we would go to church, it seemed like a lot of people would be hypocritical as far as being like very self righteous and stuff like that. And so I actually kind of went away from the church, but I always had God like in my heart the whole time. And so I ventured off and went into like metaphysics and like new age sort of stuff, but I always had Jesus in my heart. And then one time I actually met a really good friend and she invited me to church and I started going to church out here actually in Spokane. And it basically led me to get baptized and come like where I have like Jesus in my life every single day and I go to church every Sunday. So,
Oh, nice,
hmm
nice. Is there a story about how you actually made the decision and what sort of drew you to make a more concrete decision to follow the way?
well, the thing is, I always had like everything throughout life. I always listened to God and have my own personal relationship with God. And I felt like I could just get away with only having my personal relationship with God. It wasn't until I decided to start going to church and I found a really good church where they actually cared about the message of Jesus and where they were actually like not judging people and
Hmm.
actually like come as you are sort of feeling right and you can feel the Holy Spirit. And so ever in real life church specifically is the one that I go
Oh,
to,
good.
North
Yeah, it's a good
Spokane.
church. Yeah.
So I'm plugging the church because I love that church.
Oh,
They
good.
have baptism every Sunday, so I started going to that church and I started getting this inner calling to get baptized. And I was just like, okay, maybe I'll consider it, right? And then one Sunday happened, and in the back of my head, get baptized. And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, well, I'll consider it. And then another Sunday came, get baptized.
Oh,
I'm just like,
cool.
okay, I'll think about it. And then it was really funny because someone that I hadn't spoken to in like 13 years, one of
Uh-huh.
my buddies, and he actually came to visit Spokane really fast. And so we went and had lunch. And then at the end, he's just like, so, and this was on a Saturday, mind you. I haven't seen him in 13 years. And he goes, so, have you been baptized? And
Really?
I'm just
How
like, oh my
interesting.
gosh, I've been thinking about it in the back of my head every Sunday. So then I went that Sunday, the very next day, and I decided to get baptized. And when I got baptized, it was actually on the date of 3/16. So when I was getting all my towels and stuff, that they're just like, oh my gosh, John 3:16. That's the perfect date to get baptized on.
Nice.
So yeah.
Nice. What a cool story.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one of the things I like to talk about is hardship and difficulty and how it's shaped us. Most of us have gone through some trouble, and I know you're young, but still probably have experienced a little bit of heartache and trouble and difficulty. And a lot of times it turns us into the people we are, gives us a new gear and grit and determination and experience. I wonder
Mhm.
how you would answer the question: how has trouble and difficulty shaped you?
Yeah, so the biggest thing that I've experienced throughout life is being severely misunderstood because of people's like first impression of me. I'm a woman with darker skin, and so they'll have this preconceived notion or stereotype or try to put me in a box, and they'll think, that I'm capable of like XYZ or not capable of XYZ.
Hmm.
So throughout life, it's always being like the underdog or people underestimating me. And so, but at the same time, I use it as motivation because no matter whatever I've done in life, I always end up rising to the top and I don't let it get behind me. But it has been very difficult. So, but I don't let it stop me because I just know what I'm capable of. And I know that no matter what happens, no matter what someone thinks of me,
Hmm.
as long as I have faith in God, then nothing can stop me.
Nice, nice. So I have more recently sort of pivoted in my coaching to work with salespeople, and I'm always kind of curious what's the part of the sales process that you're having a lot of success with and enjoying or feel like you really own, and then what's a part of the sales process that you're maybe struggling with or finding some sort of like you need to improve your game a little bit.
So as far as the sale, what I actually succeed in, I would say that I'm naturally a really good problem solver.
Mm-hmm.
So immediately, if someone were to tell me exactly what they need help with, I can find a solution without a doubt. And one thing that I really love is being able to like connect with different people and kind of see and unfold like how every personality is different. So
Oh,
depending
fun.
on what situation is, how someone handles it differently, that's been very interesting. And I guess as far as things that I am needing a little bit more help on is that since I'm so solution oriented, that sometimes I have to figure out, okay, I need to actually listen to like how someone is feeling about it because it's not always good to just have the solution already like
Mm-hmm.
handy, but also hearing how they're feeling about it, allowing them to vent and showing like, okay, like this is what I need help with.
Right. Asking good questions and then
Mhm.
letting them
Mhm.
explain
Mhm.
long enough so that they feel their own weight of their, pain. That's a
Mhm.
great answer. Hey, I wanted to stop this video and just say a lot of salespeople I know, they know there's another level. They know the product, they like the people, they really believe in what they sell. But when the pressure hits, a lot of salespeople, they lose their conviction, they lose their nerve, they hesitate on cold outreach, they lay down or even back off with a simple objection. They fail to confidently lead people towards a decision. I coach salespeople. Give me send me a quick text 509-999-3305. I'm in your corner. Let's get together.
I work as a salesperson for Debella, specifically first and foremost. That's the company that has taught me everything that I know about sales. And so basically, what Debella we do is we focus on roof, siding, gutters, windows, and also solar shingles. So all the products are investment grade materials, all fully warranted. And what's lovely is that we typically do like 1 day installs and everything is permitted and you don't have to worry about like getting extra stuff. So it's a nice streamlined process. And then we also do have ways to make it affordable for people to be able to have investment grade materials because typically people don't have access to like $45,000 for a roof or like whatever, like depending on how big their house is, right?
Mm-hmm.
They don't have access to like big projects. And so we make it so that there are ways for people to have the ability to afford an investment grade material.
Okay.
And so, with that said, like we do have like different packages to choose from. And then what I would do is sit down and figure out, okay, according to like what your budget is and stuff like that, we can figure out what works for you.
Okay.
So, and basically, now I am actually starting my own division within Debella, so it's going to be the real estate division basically. So it's all like self-generated. And what I'm bringing to the table is I'm starting my own like wholesaling team and stuff. And basically, we would target people who are like fix and flippers who they are first time fix and flippers and they don't have like all the connections as far as like what contractors and stuff to use for their very first project. So with AK Enterprise, we would take, let's say they have a property, right? And it requires like a roof siding, gutters, windows. I can set them up with a home renovation package at a severely discounted rate specifically for investors. So then that way they have access to lifetime warranties and they can make as much return on investment on their for their profit as possible, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then let's say they need help with funding, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say they found, because I also do wholesaling too, so I'll find a distressed property and had it at a severely discounted rate so then I can pick up that project, fix and flip it. And what I could do is set them up with a package. Now, let's say they need funding, right? So then I can set them up with someone like Bracington or whatever lenders that I partner with and get them funding as well. So it's all one package where they get a home renovation package for, the most important things. They can
Mm-hmm.
have funding and they can have distressed properties, and I'll connect buyer and seller together. So
Nice.
that's AK Enterprise King Investors specifically. That's what I do. So I'm commissioned with Debella, and then I have my company with the wholesale process if you want to fix and flip property, and if you need funding, and if you need a home renovation package.
That sounds like a lot. That's pretty
Yeah,
exciting.
I'm the grand connector.
Nice, nice. All right. Well, how does someone get a hold of you if they're interested in windows or doors or siding?
So you can contact me. I have a website. If you go directly on my Facebook profile, Ariel King, I will definitely. Right now, it's in its beta state because I've set the website up itself
Yeah.
all by myself. By the way, I have a computer networking background. But you can contact me on Facebook and then always text me because then I can set you up with like any home renovation package that you need. So
All right.
all of that will be disclosed on my web or my Facebook profile, Ariel King.
All right. So 2026, what are you excited about? What's looking really upbeat and exciting?
For me, it's making all my dreams come true. Like I'm hyper focused on building my business empire basically. And right now it's been 2 years in the making and everything is starting to unfold. So just moving the final pieces together and it finally taking off and it finally is. I'm getting some momentum going and I'm just really excited.
Good, good. Who would be the perfect person to call you right now if you could make your phone ring and the person on the other end is your perfect customer, who would it be?
It would be someone who has their very first fix and flip property and they need someone to set them up with like a whole package for their first. If they don't have like any contractors or anything like that, I can set them up with the whole package and get them a nice deal on it and they have all the warranties.
Okay. So someone just bought a house, it's distressed, and they bought it wholesale, and now they want to get it ready for flipping. They would call you and you'd get all the contracting taken care of.
Correct. Yes.
Nice, nice. Okay, contact information. What's the best way to get a hold of you?
So you can always call or text my phone number directly. So
Okay.
it's 509-760-9328. Call me, Ariel King. I work with my company, AK Enterprise, as well as Debella. So if you need a home renovation package, call me for that. If you need any properties or if you need funding, you can contact me for that as well. Thank
Good.
you so much.
We'll put your phone number right here on the bottom.